And get going. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Renee with Red Orchid Travel and Red Orchid Women's Travel Tours. Welcome to our presentation tonight for our Avalon Christmas Markets River Cruise on the Rhine River, December 9th to 16th, 2025 with Avalon Cruises and Globus family of brands. I'd like you to just relax, sit back, enjoy, and we will have a Q&A session at the end. So anybody who has questions or anything, just feel free to let us know, put your microphone on for that. But if you have any background noises between now and then, I'd get you to turn off your microphone and that'll just save us. But I would like to introduce to you Maurizio. He's my business development manager for Globus Family of Brands and Avalon River Cruises. And I am going to sit back too and allow him to present this wonderful itinerary and river cruise to you. Welcome, Maurizio.
Thank you so much, Renee. Thank you so much. As we discussed earlier, due to the videos and lag time, I'm going to remove my video just for the actual presentation. Feel free to do whatever you guys like on that end. I just find that as a presenter, it might lag the video and the narration of the videos. But again, thank you so much for having me. I think this is perfect timing. I know you're all about the Christmas markets and everything else. We're joking about the fact that we had to do it today because it's like Christmas in July, right? We couldn't do it
Yes,
tomorrow, July
right.
31st.
We have
So
Christmas in July, and this is when all the hallmarks are starting to let us know they're coming.
that's right.
So we'll do our own Hallmark movie coming up here
Yeah,
on the Rhine.
yeah, you can't go wrong, can't go wrong. So
Right.
without further ado, I'll get right into it. And I begin the presentation with a short video of the history of our brand and whatnot. So I'll just remove my video and get right into it. All right, so cruising elevated is really the way we like to describe our Avalon Waterways. We are taking it to that next level in terms of what you're going to see, what you're going to do, as well as, the ships, right? Our ships are the newest on the water that we'll get into more in depth later. There's a beautiful photo of Renee and all her contact details. So you're more than welcome to take maybe a photo of that if you do not have her contact details. She's going to be your go-to person as it relates to the group that she currently has held. So we're here for you. Now, here's the video.
It began with a dream. Small dream from a man on his rowboat on Lake Lugano. Antonio Montagazza had a vision of doing more than transporting goods across the lake. He dreamed of taking people across the globe. And in 1928, when he created Globus, Antonio exchanged his rowboat for motor coaches and initiated a ripple in travel that changed the world. By 1950, Globus expanded from Swiss day trips to Italian holidays. And with help from another entrepreneur, Werner Albeck, the company unveiled the world's first multi-country European touring vacations. In 1961, Globus created Cosmos for cost-conscious travelers, generating another ripple of change. And over the next few decades, Globus and Cosmos expanded to Africa, Australia, North America, and Asia. By 2004, the ripple from Antonio's rowboat led the company back to its roots, to make waves on the rivers of Europe with the launch of Avalon Waterways. In 2011, Avalon changed the tide of cruising again with the world's first sweet ship, then a fleet of sweet ships, all while elevating cruising. All the while, Globus continued to innovate touring, taking travelers beyond the globe's go-to landmarks to uncover undiscovered towns and coasts without crowds, leading wayfarers to extraordinary moments and the memories waiting for them. Today, the ripples Antonio's dream inspired are at the heart of everything we do. From one rowboat to 95 years of fulfilling travel dreams across the globe, the Globus family of brands continues to row toward awe and wonder. This is how we row. Feel the current.
I feel it.
You feel it? I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It's actually one of our brand new videos, and I'm very happy with it because, again, it kind of shows you the history. Any company, to be around for over 95 years is a true, marvel and feat. But to be in travel for that many years and to remain family run and operated throughout the years, it's gone generation to generation with the Matagazza family out of Lugano, I think is just amazing and a nice story to share with you guys. So as you can see, the Globus family of brands, it represents the Globus name, the Cosmos name, and the Avalon Waterways name, all encompassed into the branding. Over 543 vacations, kind of on a global scale. I always say kind of because we're not hitting the Antarctica region. We actually were at one point. I was actually part of the company when we were hitting the seventh continent. So there I always say never. You never know. We might go back onto the seventh continent. But yeah, with 71 countries and again, over 95 years. So huge for us.
Mhm.
When you think of Avalon Waterways, we briefly discussed how we like to call it cruising elevated. But you're also wanting to kind of, as companies, we tend to not toot our own horns as often as we should at times. But year after year, we do win the Reader's Choice Awards, Cruise Critic Awards. Is not uncommon for us to win. And these are hard to win, right? These are our best river cruise line, shore excursions, best in European river cruising. These are all done by surveys, right, that are filled up from our past clients that have been on the cruises with us. So we really take pride in these accomplishments. So I thought, why not show you a couple of those awards that we have won over the years?
Can
So
I interrupt you just
yeah,
quickly here?
go ahead, Renee.
So that
Anytime.
castle on the last screen,
Yeah,
we visited inside that castle. That's where we had a
that's the
glass
one.
of wine on that patio where the
Look
grapevines
at
are.
that. Look at that. That's fantastic.
It was
Uh,
awesome.
Castles and the Rhine in particular for the castles, and we'll have some more imagery further in the presentation, but it is truly amazing. Yeah, no question is a dumb question related to all the rivers that we visit. The video kind of summed it up, but there's a quick snapshot of all the rivers that we do travel on. With all the locking systems along the way, it's not uncommon to do these cruises back to back, with one another. So who knows in the future? I know for the purpose of Renee's group, it's all about the Rhine, but know that we pretty much go everywhere, especially in the European rivers. We love highlighting the why behind river cruising. So for those of you who are new to riverboat cruising or river ship cruising, dare I say both, these are ships. It's like a floating boutique hotel, right? You're able to unpack and just kind of sail along, worry-free, hassle-free. In comparing to big ship cruising, here it's very relaxed and unhurried because there's no crowds, right? To get in and out of the ship is very easy. You have your room key as your security. And it's, you just scan in, scan out, and hotel staff or front desk staff, they can see your photo because what we do on the opening day is take a photo of you along with your passport information. So as you're scanning in, they take a quick snap and they look up and they go, okay, yep, they're allowed, and they allow you into the back into the ship. So very easy. Close to shore, that particular bullet point is one that I love. Close to shore, and you're literally walking distance to the main squares, shopping centers, or whatever that city or town is known for. It's usually right there at the heart of the riverbank. No seasickness, another key advantage to river cruising. When these ships are sailing, it's really tough to even feel them moving. I've had on numerous occasions people come up to me and say, "Are these electric?" And I have to tell them, "No, these are not electric ships. They're big diesel engines." But yeah, you have to look along the shore to actually feel or see that you're moving. All-inclusive value, and we're going to highlight that later. It's really a no-brainer as to everything that you're getting included with the initial price that you pay. Extraordinary value in terms of what you're getting. Like-minded travelers. So, this group, will be a part of others. You know, unless Renee, you end up getting a charter. If you end up chartering the ship, then it's all yours. If not, you're going to meet like-minded travelers from around the world. This last particular trip that I was on, I met people from Malaysia, Singapore, you know, Australia. It always adds to a nice kind of ambiance, right? We already talked about the close proximity. Great for solo travelers as well. And, you know, there are times of the year that we waive the single room supplement depending on timing. But with this one here, you're part of a group, so your rates are already going to be the best that we could offer you. And Renee is doing all that work behind the scenes. We are the newest on the water. The ship that you would be sailing on, I don't know, Renee, do you know the name of the ship that you'd be
I think
sailing
we're
on?
on the Vista.
Is it the Vista? Okay, so the Vista, let's see
Yeah.
if it is. It should be on here. The Vista is a 2012 is when that one was built. But you got to remember from that video that we just watched, in 2011, we refurbished pretty much all our ships, all the ships that were you know, newer than 2011, basically. They were all refurbished and became all suite ships. And I'm going to show you the difference with the suites and the why behind it. Actually, I didn't know that that slide was going to come up that quick. So there's one view. That's one view of the open air setup. So what we've done is we removed the balconies, and I'm going to show you a better view. So there you have the bed angled toward the water with a 7 foot by 11 foot opening. So huge, massive opening for you to really experience the river by, you know, on your bed. That bed with the slight angle, I'm going to get into the why behind what we've done there.
Awesome.
And I guess, Renee, depending on how you have the current quotes with Valerie and everything else, are you dealing with all panorama suites or is there a deluxe stateroom option as well? Or how do you?
We have both
Both? Okay.
options.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's good that I kept this slide on. So the deluxe stateroom, I've stayed in both. I've done a panorama suite and I've done the deluxe stateroom. The stateroom that you see there on the left would be 172 square feet. And you know, you're right at kind of water level, just above the water level. So that window that you're looking at does not open. But other than that, it's a very, very comfortable and I found spacious. Like it was perfectly fine. You know, you get to store your suitcase underneath the bed. The bed could be divided or split if needed, just like our panorama suite. But when you get up to that other level, and that was the picture that I just showed you, the panorama suite, you go from 172 to 200 square feet. So those are categories A, B, and P, I believe is, I can't even see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, 200 square feet. And then there's two royal suites on board pretty much all their ships, and they're 300 square feet. They tend to fill up pretty quickly, and I'll be honest, they're a little bit massive for river cruising. You know,
Yes.
you have a living room, yeah. I've yet to stay in one, Renee, but they're big. You have a toilet room,
I,
shower
I
room.
I saw them when I was on the ship
Yeah,
last year. I
yeah,
went in and took video and stuff
yeah,
of them.
yeah,
But when you're standing in that panorama suite with the doors open,
yeah.
it's just like you're outside. And we had
Yes,
swans come down below us, and we were
right.
ported, and it's amazing. We just laid in the bed and watched the castles go by. It was
Oh,
unbelievable.
I'm telling you, it is beautiful. And again, we'll get into the oh, actually, I think I have a short video that illustrates the why behind what we did. So let's play that quick.
Sweet ships of Avalon, designed from the ground up with an attention to detail river cruising has never seen before. There's nothing quite like river cruising, no matter who you cruise with, but there are some pretty big differences between companies, starting with how they look at staterooms. And our one of a kind panorama suite is proof of our innovation, our imagination, and our desire to create a smarter use of space. To give you some perspective of how much better our staterooms are, we're comparing them to the average river cruise cabin. Here's the average window, roughly 7 feet wide, with an opening under 4 feet. Here's our window, nearly 11 feet wide, floor to ceiling, wall to wall. And when it opens, it really opens, wide enough to let the outside in, because the opening is a full 7 feet, almost twice the size of the others.
It's the largest standard window in river cruising. Now, let's take a look at the bed of the average cabin. It faces the wall, not much to look at there. We had a much better idea. What if we angled the wall and turned the bed? That little change gives you the perfect perspective of the amazing views out your window. We then turned our attention to the balcony. Here's the average river cruise balcony. Seems like a nice idea, but as far as we can tell, there's not a lot of room for people to enjoy the views out there. And they had to take space from your stateroom to create that small deck space outside. So here's our better idea. Reclaim that space, push the window out, add a spacious dining and seating area for up to 6 adults, combine it with the largest sliding glass door in the business, and voila, you have an open air balcony, the only one of its kind in river cruising, and you can enjoy it day and night, no matter the weather. Plus, you'll enjoy a lot more livable space, a full 200 square feet. We gave our room an attention to detail unmatched in the industry. We offer comfort collection beds, plenty of easily accessible storage, and we even added sound dampening insulation in our walls to make it less likely you'll hear your neighbors or they'll hear you. And we didn't stop with the room. We turned that same attention to detail to the bathroom. We took a look at the bathroom of the average ship and we knew we could do better. By angling the wall, we opened up more space in the bathroom. Then we took our newfound space and we made it luxurious. We have a large tile shower with glass doors, marble countertops, premium fixtures, L'Occitane bath amenities, and shelves to store all your necessities. And the best part is that there aren't just a couple of these staterooms on our ships reserved for those who want to pay more. 80% of the staterooms on our suite ships are panorama suites. And once you leave your suite, you're likely to find fewer people on our suite ships. Because with our bigger staterooms, there is less capacity for passengers, which means more space everywhere you go. As you can see, more has gone into the amazing panorama suites, so you can get so much more out of them. We invite you to compare, and you'll see there's no comparison.
Yeah,
Love that video.
I love that video because it truly illustrates the why behind it. I always use this slide as well, and feel free to take a photo if you like, for those of you who joined kind of live. But basically, the why behind it is the locks, right? So every river cruise company in the market, we're all limited to how wide we can build our ship, right? How wide, how tall, how long, everything is, parameters in place for it. So we decided to remove the balcony and make that grayed out area part of the room, which is huge in terms of space. Again, we brought it from, the basic to 200 square feet. But that slight angle, look at the shower behind is that much larger. It's funny, one of the people that I was traveling with most recent, they went into the room and their OCD kicked in and they wanted to move the bed. They wanted to straighten it out. And I said, no, there's a why behind it. Number one, you can't, but the why behind it is that larger bathroom behind.
And they can split, and
Yep.
they just put one of the night tables into the center, and they're very
Right.
comfortable. You don't feel like you can reach out and touch your neighbor. It's
Yep.
awesome for two people traveling together that don't want to share a bed.
Yep, definitely. And good point, Renee, related to moving the furniture because that's all movable. We had a cruise director in town actually not long ago, and he brought up a perfect kind of way of looking at it. Because our ships are modern, contemporary, very clean, straight lines, even the furniture is almost condo style furniture, right? So it's not big and bulky, and it just makes the room that much larger. And again, with the ability to move it and shift it to your liking, it's just that much more space, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really, really nice way to cruise for sure.
Well, and
Um,
that table,
yeah,
it goes up and down. So if you want
yes,
to
that too.
stand and at the table, you can make it a
Yeah,
standing table.
that circle table there. Yeah, good
Yeah.
observation, Renee. I like that. I
I
actually
stood I stood on my computer and did some work there.
Amazing, amazing. It's funny you say that because I noticed that it raised that way on my last day. I wish I knew that ahead of time. So yeah, in terms of Avalon choice, this has been part of our focal points from day one in terms of giving our clients choice and flexibility to what they want to do. Everyone has unique things that they want to do, on their particular cruise. So the classic would be your typical canal cruise, city walks, inside visits, and then active. I know the Olympics are going on now, but it's not active like Olympic athlete active. These are still done at your own pace. We tend to even break down the groups even with the active. But like slower pace, medium, fast pace, but you can get on, you can take a bike out, you could canoe or kayak. You guys are going in Christmas market type time, so I'm not sure about the canoe or kayak. But the bikes would still be available. Let's face it, Europe doesn't get as cold as we get here in Canada.
Right.
Maybe a light jacket and whatnot, morning and night. And then Discovery is more about the food, painting, cocktails, workshop tastings, that kind of thing. So again, depending on your taste, the optional, I call them optional, but their excursions are included, right, with the initial price you pay. It's just a matter of which ones you want to tap into as you go along.
Hard to pick because
I
there's so many
know.
good ones.
I know. And to our point earlier, let's say you do pick ahead of time, which you can, by all means. If you change your mind when you're on the ship, no problem. We can swap you over. It happened to me most recent on the Danube,
Mhm.
where I was in the hike after hike after hike, and then I woke up one morning and it said, I don't want to do the hike." So
Yeah.
cruise director was fantastic. She said, "No problem, you can get on one of the coaches and do a regular sightseeing." So yeah, no problem. The other thing that we're very flexible with is going in early or staying later. I know, Renee, you're looking at some details as to what you may want to do for your particular group. But the options are there for you, right? So,
Yes.
being that we have, number one, our land product is our bread and butter. You watched it from the video, Globus. So hotels are very easy to come by with our organization. We've done hotel contract and negotiations way ahead of time. But if you do want to add at the beginning, which is highly encouraged at the beginning, especially, not day one is usually a day at leisure anyway. It's not like you're taking off, but you're flying in, you're usually on a transatlantic overnight flight, arrive in the morning, get rid of the jet lag. To have that one additional day is night and day different. I've done it both ways. I've gone in the day of the cruise and I didn't like the feeling compared to
Yes.
its most recent. Yeah. So
I've done both too, and I
yeah,
I really liked having the extra day.
yeah, 100%.
Just felt
And then
like you could immerse yourself in the city before, especially if you go to Amsterdam. And if you've
yeah,
never been there, it's so easy to walk around. It's
that's right.
wonderful.
That's right. Yeah. And then at the end, maybe Lake Como, right? Maybe visit George Clooney. No.
Hey, I just saw him a couple weeks ago.
Did you look at that?
We saw his
That's
house.
awesome. That is awesome. And then it's the little things. The video kind of highlighted the L'Occitane product in the washroom. These shampoos, conditioners, lotions are all L'Occitane, which is high-end stuff. You get spoiled, and then you want to buy it when you're back home, and you realize how expensive it is. But anyway, it's the little things. That gentleman there's I believe wholeheartedly he has breakfast beside him because we could do breakfast in bed if you wanted. There's a little tag that you can put on your door, like a door knocker, that you could have breakfast in bed if needed. But again, coffee in the back lounge or even the front lounge, you can always bring it to your room without issue. The other picture there on the bottom right has the hotel staff going in to kind of fluff up pillows. We have nightly turn down service when you guys are off for dinner and what have you. They come make the beds, fluff up the pillows, everything else. But another unique thing is the fact that let's say on your opening night, you feel like your mattress was a little bit too hard or too soft. We can change it. We can change the mattress topper to your liking. So if you found it too soft, we can make a harder one. Same with the pillows, harder or softer pillows. So we encourage you to feel it out on the first night. I've never had to change it. I don't know, Renee, if you've changed
No,
yours.
I found him
No?
very comfortable.
Yeah, they're
Very
very comfortable from the start, but hey,
okay. But
you know you
you
have that.
forgot to put something in here, Maurizio.
Yep,
It's the
tell me.
little things. Like in the
Yes.
bathroom,
Uh-huh.
there's
I know where
two
you're
different
going. Yeah.
colored towels. So
I
you
knew where
know
you were
which
going.
one's yours. So you
I
take the dark one or the light one.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. I knew where you were going with that, and I keep forgetting to put an image of that. Uh, but no
It's
fighting over the
genius.
towels.
I love
Yeah,
it.
I know. No fighting over the towels. You can pick your color from the beginning. Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
great.
then, the little fitness center, I call it little because it truly is. But if you wanted to continue with your routine, if you have like an exercise routine or schedule, we do have the treadmills and a couple of the exercise bikes on board. We also have a hot tub on the top deck. If you want to soak in the hot tub, we have that available as well. So the settings that you crave, what we like to talk about here is the Avalon Flex Dining. So there are multiple venues to eat, basically. The Panorama Dining Room is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The Panorama Bistro is really the lounge. I'm going to show you a picture of the front lounge. But long story short, the Panorama Dining is your sit down, and you're going to have your 3 to 4 course meal, depending on the evening. But your Panorama Bistro is up in the lounge. They do little samples of what you would get in dinner, like in the dining room. But in the bistro, it's just little samples. So let's say one of the nights you're not feeling like a full out sit down dinner and you'd rather have almost like a buffet style, just pick and choose. That's your ability to do whatever you like. Not a problem. Sky Grill is the image on right in the middle, actually, the lady wearing the yellow dress there. Sky Grill will probably not be open for Christmas markets. It's very seasonal, so I actually missed it even in July. I'm just back, and it was way too hot to have the Sky Grill open, so it's a short window of opportunity to get that barbecue type setting on the top deck. And then room service, we talked about it, but breakfast in the room is not a problem whatsoever. We show that couple on the right top corner with a basket. And what we mean by that, it wouldn't be a fancy basket like that. But let's say you knew hypothetically you were going to go and you're off for the day and you know you're not going to be coming back for lunch. We would actually pack you a lunch. We can box you a lunch. I actually had that first time ever experiencing it, because what I did was I cycled 30 kilometers. Not that I'm, an Olympic athlete, but 30 kilometers along the shore. We followed the ship, and they gave us little backpacks with lunch. So we had a little stop. We had lunch on the side of the road, and enjoyed that, and then caught up with the ship. So I know that it is possible if you know you're going to be away, but 9 times out of 10, the way the excursions work is you'll have a morning one, you'll be back for lunch, and then maybe an afternoon one, depending on the day, or an afternoon at leisure, right? So
Mhm.
it's not really a necessity because you have lunch on the ship.
Right.
And speaking of the food, it is truly amazing. We have the Rank brothers that it's chef inspired. The two brothers there on the left. Renee, we have surveys, right, that are filled out at the end of these trips.
Yes.
9 times out of 10, they just rant and rave about our food. We have great cruise directors. We have great staff. You name it, they talk about the food and how good it was.
The food is
So.
great. And if you want all of the desserts, you order all of the
Oh yeah.
desserts.
Oh yeah. That's a good insider tip. Yeah, that's a good insider tip.
Yeah.
I would
No, the
say
food
if you
was
have,
terrific. Oh,
yeah, if you have a hard time deciding, even on an entree, you'll see like they get to know you, right? And they'll nudge you and say, just take them both. I
well,
can
and
see you're struggling.
the other thing is the dietary needs. The chef will meet with you. If you have
Yes,
special dietary needs, the actual chef will come and meet with you to ensure that everything you have on the ship is something you can eat. And for
agreed.
people with so many issues these days with wheat and dairy and all the rest, it's so nice. I love that.
Yep, it's fantastic. I actually witnessed it. I happened to be in the back lounge. So what they do is, ahead of time, it's great to mention it to Renee, because our Valerie is our group's coordinator that's working with Renee. She'll put it already on the manifest. But to Renee's point, on day one, maybe day two, I believe. I can't remember if it's day one
It
or day
was
two.
it was day one.
I think it was day one, right? So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, yeah.
they meet you in the back lounge and you just reiterate all the dietary needs that you require. And they are attentive. Trust me when I tell you, they are very attentive to your needs. And yeah, everyone rants and raves about the food and the whole experience. So,
Mhm.
and with the Avalon Fresh, the other thing that's not uncommon is for them to go out into the local markets, right? And grab stuff fresh from that market from that particular day. So, for example, when we were in Austria, obviously you want to have the schnitzel and stuff like that. So, local to the region is what we try to do with the meals. And then speaking of complimentary, we talked about it earlier, an all-inclusive type feel. It truly is with complimentary beer, complimentary wine, sparkling wine with the meals. So breakfast, I always say that, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's really lunch and dinner. But I guess you can have a mimosa, have a mimosa in the breakfast time. But anyway, beer and wine with lunch and dinner, local to the region that you're visiting. Nightly happy hour. It happens from 5:45 to 6:45 in the main lounge, the front lounge that I'm going to show you. And that's where the port talk will happen nightly. So the cruise director, he or she will go over all the following days itinerary, what you're going to be doing. And that happy hour is now on us. Happy hour is complimentary. I've I've had both. I've had a situation where you have to pay for happy hour, but now as of 2023, I believe, is when we changed it. It's complimentary. So any cocktails that you want during that hour, I'd say any, but they do have like a list of different cocktails. They do cocktail of the day kind of idea.
Yeah,
And
they have a little menu
yeah, a little
and that.
menu.
I
Yeah,
had my first Cosmopolitan. It
there you
sounded so sexy. I'd never had one and I ordered one.
Love it, love it, love it. And Renee, you can attest to the fact that I didn't know how this was going to work. I assumed and thought there was going to be huge lineups at the bar of people looking for their
No.
drinks, but it was the opposite. You can
Yes.
sit back, enjoy like you're just sitting there in the lounge and the wait staff come around and no pressure. Like literally within that hour, you could easily have two or three drinks because they keep coming
Yes.
around. And
They're
if you want
fantastic.
more, yeah,
And they
you can do
remembered I
whatever.
had a Cosmopolitan because the next night he came to me, would you like to have another Cosmopolitan?
Yeah, it's too funny. And that happened with me with the Aperol Spritz. I like the
Oh, yes.
Aperol Spritz, and they knew, yeah, every night I was having my Aperol Spritz. So that's
Margaritas, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So there's the club lounge, and I joke with Renee that I don't like this picture because it looks small in my eyes. Where you got to imagine that front lounge could accommodate everybody on the ship. So let's say that Vista is 150 capacity. I gather it's somewhere around there, 150, 160. Everyone can fit in the lounge, but when you're looking at this picture, it doesn't really show that you can fit 160 people. So know that the lounge is much larger than this, but that is a view of the front lounge. And here's a view of the back lounge. And I'll be honest, this ends up being my hangout most of the time. It's open
Me too.
24 hours. We have sweet and savory treats in that little that glass box there. They replenish those treats. It feels like every hour they're replenishing. And then that coffee machine, Renee, how good is that coffee machine?
Oh,
It's
cappuccino every day.
yeah.
Yes. Well, they
I'm a
had
bit of a
stroopwafel cookies and everybody was taking handfuls out of
nice,
there. But
nice.
you can't see the seating there, but there are games and things,
Yes.
and you're at the back of the ship, and there's a little deck off the back.
Yep.
And it's actually very bright and cheery, and it's just a nice, quiet place to go.
Yeah, very nice. That coffee machine, I'm a bit of a coffee snob, I have to admit, but the espresso and the cappuccino, to Renee's point, like amazing, amazing that come out of that machine. Even tea, it makes anything, any type of drink you want out of that machine. And then that stainless steel thing there is an ice maker. And if this picture was taken a little bit further back, we have a water refilling station in the lounge.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
awesome.
water, yeah, it is awesome. You have your choice of flavored water, flat water, bubbly water, flavored water, up to you. And we encourage you to bring your own water bottle, but let's say hypothetically you forget or, in your packing, what have you, we can loan you a water bottle or you can buy a souvenir water bottle from our shop. We
I just
encourage,
noticed in the juice area there, you can
yeah,
see the room clear, better looking in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the juice.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That reflection
Yeah,
helps.
the reflection.
Yeah, but to your point, right back there, you have board games, you have another TV. The Euro Cup was going on. I told Renee it was going on while I was there, so we were watching the games in the back lounge. You could be a little bit louder back there. But yeah, it ends up being my hangout for sure. Complimentary Wi-Fi. So this is one of
Awesome.
those hot topics, right? We have to talk about it. People want to remain connected. They want to, share photos, share experiences as they're going along with their family. I'm hearing more and more of companies that are charging for Wi-Fi packages. I can tell
Yes.
you firsthand, we do not do that. We use that game-changing Wi-Fi. Everyone knows Elon Musk and his Starlink Wi-Fi. So it's very, very powerful Wi-Fi. We've done conferences on board that, run very, very smoothly. I've done presentations actually in that back lounge without issue. So
Yep.
clear connected. We actually encourage you to get the Avalon Go app ahead of time. That app is filled with useful information, filled, including the fact that, let's say you do arrive a day or two early, maybe that embarkation point is not quite set yet, but as soon as you have that app and you're in destination, it'll tell you the exact spot for your embarkation point. Updates, even on your air, if you book air and land, depending on how you're going to do the complete package, everything is on there. And another interesting thing is the GPS mapping on it. So the actual app, you don't have to be on data. You don't have to roam with your data or anything like that, but it still has GPS mapping. So you can mark where the ship is. So let's say you go out for a walk and you want to come back and you maybe forgot where you were docked. It'll show you, it'll pinpoint your spot through GPS. So I found that that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the app is good for journaling and taking photos. Oftentimes you take so many photos through the course of your trip, you often forget, right? Like, where was that castle? So you can journal, you can mark it. Day one, here we were, and here's the photos. So it's pretty cool. Possibilities are as wide as the open views. I couldn't agree more. I guess that would have been me on the left corner there, looking at Budapest. That happens to be Budapest behind. But anyway, adventure hosts are available to help if you want to, again, wake up early and do some sunrise yoga. We actually have cornhole now, Renee. I'm not sure if you knew that. So top deck,
Yes.
you can have a little cornhole tournament with your group. Mini putts, you name it. You can get that all from the front desk, but the adventure host is available to help you out with all that. Love, love, love this picture for more than one reason. One, you get a view of the top deck and kind of the way that the ships are all made. You can see there's a hot tub on the top deck. For those of you who have never done a river cruise, I can tell you that everything on that top deck folds. It all folds very, very flat for the low bridges. And the wheelhouse, like where the captain is navigating through, that is actually on hydraulics, and it can go right down to flat as well, where they're relying only on their navigation screens to go under the bridges and what have you. So really state-of-the-art technology on these ships. But I love this picture because, this is the quaintness of getting off the ship, not hurried, no crowds. You get off the ship and you're literally within walking distance to that little medieval town or village. The rivers were there way before the roads were, right? So to do this on the river is night and day different to even doing it on land. I've done quite a few land operated, by Globus. To now do it on the water is night and day different. It feels like I'm doing the destination for the first time, right? The rivers are beautiful for sure.
Yeah, up close and personal without traffic.
Yeah, without traffic, definitely. And then this is a Whisper audio headset. I honestly feel for companies that don't use a device like this.
Love it.
I'm sure, Renee, you're probably nodding your head in agreement that, when you have the local guide or even the cruise director, whoever is coming out for the excursion with you, you do not have to huddle around that local guide to hear the commentary. This is all live commentary. They have a little microphone. You have a little earpiece with this box, and again, you don't have to huddle around. You can lag behind and still still hear all the commentary. Groups that don't have them, you can spot them right away because everyone's brushing. They're trying to keep up with the local guide, and then you get people that hear the English language being spoken and they tap in. They haven't even paid. They're not part of your group. and then they just kind of linger around because they're hearing the commentary, right? So anyway, Whisper audio headsets are fantastic. Even someone brought it up like how cool they are even when you go into a cathedral or a church where you can't be speaking too loud, right? That's where our guides can whisper and you still hear everything about that church or cathedral, right? So
Or if
yeah.
you stop to take a picture or video
Yeah.
and you know you can't hear your guide anymore, you have to hustle and
Yeah.
get back in. But you can venture away a little bit to
That's
see something more clearly, and you just have to make sure you're within earshot. But it's
love it.
fantastic for movement. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. And good point. If you don't hear them, it means you're out of range and maybe you got to keep up. That's where you got to rush a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So Renee is working again, how we talked about with Valerie to work on this Christmas market Rhine cruise for you. That's the itinerary there. And I'll be honest with you, Renee has done a fantastic job on her website. We looked at it together just before tapping into the call. And you'd have a day by day. I was actually going to go day by day, but for the essence of time, she has it on her website. But that gives you a snapshot. It's a 7 overnight cruise beginning in Amsterdam, ending in Basel. To give you some of the imagery and what you would see on a Christmas market. I'm jealous, I have to admit. I haven't been for Christmas market. I've been in preparation, like late October, early November for preparation of the Christmas market, and that already is incredible. You know, they're putting up the trees, putting up all the lights and it's beautiful. I can't even imagine what you guys will experience. So,
Well,
uh,
Hallmark, you got to think about
yeah,
the Hallmark. There's lights and decorations and everything
totally.
everywhere. And the
Yeah, yeah,
magic, the magic is
yeah.
that apparently in Europe, the Christmas market season does not actually commence until the first Sunday in Advent. So
Ah,
all of the decorations are up, but it's like they all poof turn on at that
look at
time. So we're
that.
going December 9th. Well,
Love
it's
it.
pretty fresh.
Love it. Love it. Love it. That's gonna be amazing. Yeah, so the hillside castles and everything that you'd see along the way. I think I have some images of the castles. You know, why the Rhine and why Renee chose the Rhine. We often call it the high five kind of opportunity here. You're visiting or seeing 5 countries along the way. You know, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, and Austria, all beautiful and kind of unique in their own way. Every one of these countries is known for something different. And again, how we talked about with the meals as well, right? So when you're in Austria, it's pretty much a given you're gonna have schnitzel. So, you know, you have the different flavors of each of these countries for sure.
See all
Here's
those
another,
master cuckoo clocks.
yes, yes. Here's some more shots of the markets and Christmas. Here, I think that picture actually to the right, if I'm not mistaken, let's see if any of them are holding it. They're not. That might be the
I was gonna say it's
malted
a
wine kind of
mulled
station, yeah,
cider. Yeah.
maybe. But there's also, you know, the what do they call them? Chimneys? Something
Oh
chimney.
yeah, those big
Yeah,
chimney things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely want to have one of those for sure. All good. The Rhine Gorge is beautiful in itself, and how you mentioned, Renee, that you were able to have a drink in the castle. You know,
It's
it's
there
not,
again.
yeah, yeah, it's not uncommon to see castles. In fact, through this one region here, every 2.5 kilometers, you're gonna see a castle. Like it's
Yes.
incredible how many castles on the top. And it's hard to take a bad shot. Like these are beautiful imagery. A lot of this is amateur photography, by the way. You know, they take these photos just from the view. Yeah.
It's awesome. And you can be up on the top deck, put
Hmm.
your woolens on if you're cool, and they'll bring you up hot drinks. So you can have a nice hot, mocha
Yeah.
coffee or something. And you really want to be up there to see them all. It's fascinating,
Yeah,
magical.
you definitely want to be up there. And that again is the beauty of a small ship atmosphere, right? You get up to the top deck in no time, and down in no time, right? So it's not
Yes.
like you're, you know, herding up and down. You're gonna be up in no time and enjoying the views. Yeah, it's a very nice way to do it. Some more of the markets. Then I have, I think, a short video coming up related to the whole Avalon experience. So let's watch that. Beautiful. And they give
Mhm.
you the towels. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to say something. I thought, no, I won't say anything. But you forgot to mention the beer in Heidelberg. You got to have the beer
Oh,
there.
right. Of course. There's beer in Heidelberg for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And the
Yeah.
chocolate. Mm.
Yes, yes, that's a given. I'm gonna go back in with my camera video, because as promised, we can go over a couple Q&A for those who join live. Maybe if anything comes top of mind for the people that have joined live and you have any questions, I'm here. So is Renee. If not, again, this is recorded, so you guys can play it back. Again, Renee's done a fantastic job on her website. In case you don't have her details, there they are again. But on her website, you have a day-by-day itinerary of everything that's going to be going on for that particular cruise. And,
Yes.
now until, whenever, no question is a dumb question, right? We're always here to help. It may not come top of mind right now, but don't think this is your only opportunity to ask a question. We're always here for you.
Well, there's one thing I was going to mention, and that's how quickly Christmas market cruise sell out. And again, just like I experienced with another ocean cruise that we're going to do, our sailing, it's already almost sold out for a year from now. And the Christmas market, even though the markets are actually in December 2025, I find some of those with the window up top, most of the D&E are sold.
They do
So if
move
you're
quick.
even thinking of a Christmas market river cruise, um, you just have to place a deposit to hold your stateroom, but just know that they sell out quite quickly, because they're a themed cruise.
They are. Yeah,
So
yeah. The theme cruises tend to go quick. That's a given. As we know, like anything new and exciting, and not that Christmas markets are new and exciting. They have been going forever, but to do it on the water and to do it the way we do it, it's an intrigue factor, and people want to jump on it, right? So
it's a
it's good
short
that.
timeline. You just have like 3 weeks. So that's
Yeah,
the other thing. There's just so many cruises you can do
agreed.
in that timeline. So
Agreed. But you're doing it well, Renee, in terms of ahead of time. I have some people that try their best to squeeze in last minute. You're doing it the right way in terms of your timelines, because again, to be rushed through that, you don't want to be rushed through that group process, and you've done a
no,
good
and I
job.
don't have a block of rooms, so it's
Right.
just whatever the
Yep.
actual openings are, that's all I can put ladies
Right.
into.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If they start to sell out, then I
Right.
don't have any
Right.
rooms saved.
Yes, I
But
hear you.
maybe we can open it up now. Does anybody have any questions? Was this even better than you thought with all the inclusions? Because all of the shore excursions and that happy hour and your liquor and the Starlink is fairly new. That's wonderful. You don't have to pay for anything extra
That's
like
right.
that. So
Yeah. Any
yeah,
drinks actually that come to mind, any drinks outside of those timelines, happy hour and whatnot, you just charge to the room because the common
yeah,
question is, can I do a drink package or something like that? We don't do drink packages, but you charge to the room and then settle your tab, as you're leaving.
right,
But
right. Any questions, anybody?
Renee, I have a question about the daily port talks.
yeah.
Okay.
Does that occur during the dinner hour, or is dinner before or after the port talks?
It's just before. So what we do is 5:45 to 6:45 pretty much daily. You can lock it in. It's going to be Port Talk in the big front lounge that I showed you. And the cruise director will go over everything related to the following day, any excursions, any logistics, housekeeping, you name it. And then right after that Port Talk, so around 7 p.m., the doors open for dining, but it's open seating. So it's not like you have to rush, to get down there and eat right away. The doors open at 7, but it doesn't mean you have to be there right at 7. But yeah, to answer your question, 5:45 to 6:45 Port Talk, and then 7 p.m. for dinner.
Yeah, you'll like to hear the port talks because they
Oh
tell you
yeah.
what to expect the next day.
Yeah.
Also, another thing to keep in mind is every evening there's entertainment in that
Yes.
lounge,
Yep.
and it's really neat because they support locals, and somebody will come on the ship and then they'll entertain. There could be dancing, live bands, comedian, whatever. Fantastic uh, talent.
Yep.
And they might get off at the next port, and it's like, good night.
I just jotted that down, Renee, because I don't know why I don't have a slide related to local entertainers because they are fantastic. You know, each of
Yeah.
them, they're unique in their own way, whatever they're bringing. We had a guy on
Yes.
where they had that, it's called a repeat machine where, you know, he'll do a little bit of guitar and it's recorded. And then he hits a button with a foot pedal and he has that recorded. Then he'll do a little bit of vocal and hit record. And then all of a sudden it becomes a song and it's just like incredible. One man show. So that was one. Then we had karaoke another night. We had a trivia night. Um, I was entertainment one of the nights. I like
Wow.
doing magic. I do magic tricks, but I won't
Ooh,
be on your cruise. But they're card tricks. Yeah, yeah.
fun.
But
We
yeah,
had violinists one night. They were young teenagers and they were unbelievable. We had
nice.
a piano man that dressed up as Elton John. He was a staple and he was
Love it.
really good. And then
Love it.
we had some singers come on. We had bands come on. It was
Yeah.
nice variety. And every evening it was nice to have your happy hour, get together, have dinner, and then go upstairs and enjoy some entertainment. And when you're ready for bed, you're ready for bed. But they kind of
Agreed.
play on until
Yep.
late into
Yeah.
the evening for
No,
those
it's really
want
nice.
to.
And you know, that entertainment's come a long way. Like you could imagine, I remember 2004 when we launched Avalon Waterways. In 2004, back then, 20 years ago, it was piano bar, typical piano bar setting, right?
Yeah.
Not the most entertaining. Look, it's not big ship entertainment, you know, it's not to that extravagant feel, but we have come a long way and we have some nice stuff.
But it's
And food.
intimate and
Yeah,
it's intimate and boutiquey, and that's what I
yes.
like.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We actually had a cornhole tournament in the lounge one night. They brought the game down into the lounge. So that was another fun night.
Fun, fun. And there is air conditioning if you feel like that in December.
Yes.
Just somebody asked that question to me before. It was like, yes, there is.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
you know those doors, you open up those doors and let some fresh air in
yeah.
your room.
Oh,
Definitely, definitely.
I'd be
I think,
taking my
yeah,
winter
more
coat.
concern would be that they're heated. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
it's lovely. You could put
Yeah,
your coat on and stand there. It's just
yeah.
like magnificent as you're going by these castles, and you're just like standing there watching them go by. It's pretty special.
It's beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, any more questions? You'll think of some, I'm sure,
I
as we
know.
go.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as we hang up, oh, I had that. But
Yeah, so
again,
with my group pricing, so every time I take out a group, I have to sign a contract with the company that I'm with. And so my pricing is locked in and there's no increases in the pricing until next year. The solo pricing is fantastic. It's better than all the pricing you'll see online. So I just want to say that up front for the solos and also for people who want to go together. That's why I mentioned about the beds, because some people don't want their beds close together and they're not bad. I found them really comfortable, really good. We slept well and you couldn't hear the neighbors at all. So that was a big deal. The showers were fantastic because they were nice and big. You didn't feel like you had to walk around like this. They
yeah,
were
it's
great.
that angle. Yeah, that angle of the wall, it's incredible. Again, there was method to the madness with everything that we did with the refurb.
Yes.
These ships are really, really state of the art. Yeah.
Well, and they come clean your room. I mean, it's everything you'll want in a river cruise and more. And their comfort is what, right there. Imagine just having your mattress according to however you like it, firm or soft.
That's right. Yeah, or your pillow as well. You can change that up. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a little pillow menu, I think, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, if nobody has any more questions, then
I have
I
one
will.
more, Renee.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
About how long are we in a port each day?
Yeah, so that really depends on the itinerary. With your particular itinerary, it's pretty much full days. Like you're gonna have a morning excursion, you're gonna come back for lunch, how we talked about, and then you'll have either afternoon free in that port or another excursion that you might want to tap into. So depending on that day by day, and again, Renee has it on her website. You know, you might be docked. What we try to do, what we try our best to do is have some daytime sailing as well as nighttime sailing because people enjoy both. It's nice to wake up in a new port of call, you know, the following morning, or, you know, people enjoy sailing during the day as well. So we try to keep a good balance, right? But for the
Right.
most
And
part, we're going to be all day. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a lot of locks that we go through from
Yes.
Amsterdam to Basel. So a lot of those happen when we're sleeping.
Yeah.
But there are some during the day, and you wake up and it's like it went dark, and you look outside and you could pretty much put your arm out to feel that there's a wall
Yeah.
there, and it's fascinating to go through the locks and watch
That's
the
when you want to,
process.
yeah, that's definitely when you want to get on the top deck when you're going through a lock, especially if you
Yeah.
haven't experienced it ever. They're a true marvel. And then also in your room, you have a front view of the ship. You have front view and rear view of the ship. So if you're in your room and you happen to be on the TV and you see that you're coming into a lock, that's when you can run up to the top deck. So I
Yeah.
use that quite often.
Yeah. If you've never had a river cruise, it's a great experience. And you have to forget everything you know about cruising and everything because it's so different. It's on a river.
Yeah.
You can see the side to side wherever you go. It's almost like you're just sort of there,
Yeah.
floating down the middle of the river.
Yeah. I wasn't joking when I mentioned that it's happened more than one time that people come to me and ask if they're electric, if the engines are electric for how quiet they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these
Have you
are
gone
quite,
that nice corridor after Amsterdam when there's all those trees just perfectly lined up, and then a
yes,
train will go through, and I wouldn't close my curtains at night. I just wanted to watch all the
it's
trees, and
beautiful.
it was beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Hard
Yeah.
to take a bad photo, right? They all
Yes.
come out like postcards.
Yes. Okay. Well, I just want to thank everybody for coming on. This is being recorded and it will be placed on my website underneath of the River Cruise option on the Women's tab. And obviously it'll circulate through social media and be put in the newsletter. But Maurizio, I just really thank you for coming on and presenting tonight. I really appreciate it. Always
Thank you
great
for
to see
having me.
you.
Thank you for
And
having me.
ladies, if you think of any more questions at all, please let me know. If I don't have the answer, Maurizio will have to put up with me.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, between myself and Valerie, we'll definitely be there for you. Yeah.
All righty. Well, thanks again, everyone. Have
Thank
a
you.
good
Thank
night.
you.
All
Thank you,
righty.
guys. Yeah, take care. All the best.
Okay.